Assalamualaikum. My name is Malaika Mozam. My roll number is 14 and I am from Department of BS Biotechnology. It is my presentation and I am presented it to Dr. Hamad. So, today my topic of presentation is transmission electron microscope. Here are my contents. Firstly, I will tell you about electron microscope, then transmission electron microscope, then why is TEM used, why is TEM measured, TEM resolution, its principal parts of machine, TEM working, sample preparation of TEM, application of TEM, advantages, disadvantages, and comparison between SEM and TEM. So, electron microscope. Electron microscopes are beam of electron are used to produce images. It produces wavelength of electron beam is more shorter than light, resulting in much higher resolution. Then it is a transmission electron microscope. It uses a wide beam of electron passing through a thin slide specimen to form an image. This microscope is analogous to a standard upright or inverted light microscope. The specimen is most often an ultra-thin section less than 100 nanometer thick or a suspension on a grid. An image is formed from the intersection of the electrons with the sample as the beam is transmitted through the specimen. The image is then magnified and focused onto an imaging device such as fluorescent screen, a layer of photographic film, or a sensor such as charge coupled device. This enables instrument to capture fine details such as small as a single column of atoms, which is thousands of times smaller than a resolvable object seen in a light microscope. Transmission electron microscope is a major analytical method in the physical, chemical, and biological sciences. TEM find application in cancer research, virology, and material science, as well as pollution, nanotechnology, and semiconductor research. Here is its diagram. Ultra-thin section of specimens. Light passes through specimen, then an electromagnetic lenses to a screen or film. Specimen may be strained with heavy metal salts, and it is 10,000 minus 100,000 x resolution 2.5 nanometer. So why is TEM used? Transmission electron microscope is used to view thin specimens, tissue sections, molecules through which electrons can pass, generating a projection image. The TEM is analogous in many ways to conventional light microscope. This technology can tell us about structure, crystallization, morphology, and stress of a substance, whereas scanning electron microscope can only provide information about morphology of a specimen. Then why can TEM measure? What can TEM measure? TEM analysis confirm approximate shape, nanogram, and diameter after biodegradation of green synthesis of gold and silver nanoparticles after 24 hours. The shape of some nanoparticles were roughly circular with smooth edges and anisotropic structures with irregular contours. The TEM image of most of the SNPs are in close physical contact, being separated by quite uniform interparticle distance. The shape of particles produced were hexagonal, spherical, triangular, and some were nano triangles, which were performed by being monodispersed with a large surface area. The formation of spherical nanoparticles was due to the capping agent of biomolecules rather than formation of triangle or hexagonal structures. TEM image with high magnification showed predominantly hexagonal, triangular, and circular biologically synthesize GNPS. TEM image also conformed a large quantity of circular GNPS with thin smooth end on the exterior part of the nanoparticles. Next is transmission electron microscope resolution. In a TEM, a monochromatic beam of light is accelerated through a potential of 40 to 100 kilovolts and pass through a strong magnetic field that acts as a lenses. The resolution of a TEM is about 0.2 nanometer. This is the typical separation between two atoms in a solid. Next is its principle. Transmission electron microscope uses high energy electrons up to 300 keV accelerating voltage, which are accelerated to nearly the speed of light. The electron beam behaves like a wavefront with wavelength about a million times shorter than light waves. When electron beam passes through a thin section, specimens of a material electrons are scattered. A sophisticated system of electromagnetic lenses focuses the scattered electron into an image, a diffraction pattern, or a nanoanalytical spectrum, depending on the mode of operation. Each of these modes offer a different insight about specimen. The imaging mode provides a highly magnified view of the micro and nanostructure, and ultimately in high resolution imaging mode a direct map of atomic arrangements can be obtained. The diffraction mode displays accurate information about local crystal structure. The nano-analytical modes tell research which elements are present in tiny volume of material. These modes of operation provide valuable information for scientists and engineers in the research of stronger materials, faster microchips, or smaller nanocrystals. So this is parts of the machine. The typical transmission electron microscope laboratory contains a machine with these components: electron gun, electron column, electromagnetic lens system, detectors, water chilling system, specimen sample chamber, main control panel, and operational controls, image capture. So its diagram, in which it adds electron gun, condense lenses, objective lens, immediate lens, project lens, fluorescent screen, anode, and specimen. So the first is electron gun. Electron gun generates electron beam. It is usually positioned in the top of instrument column. The emitter is seated within a cone-shaped valence cylinder, and the beam travels out the small central hole shown in the apex of the cone. Next is electron column. The electron column is made up of the gun assembly at the top, a column filled with the set of electromagnetic lenses, the sample pod, an airlock, and a set of apparatuses that can be moved in and out of the path of the beam. The contents of the column are under vacuum. Next is electron lenses. Electron lenses are designed to act in a manner emulating that of an optical lens by focusing parallel electrons at some constant focal distance. Electron lenses may operate electrostatically or magnetically. The majority of electron lenses for them use electromagnetic coils to generate a convex lens. The field produced for the lens must be radically symmetrical, as deviation from the radical symmetry of the magnetic lens called aberrations such as astigmatism and Watson's spherical and chromatic aberration. Electron lenses are manufactured from iron combat, or nickel combat alloys such as paramolite. They are selected for their magnetic properties such as magnetic saturation, hysteresis, and permeability. Next is detector. One of the most common detectors seen on a transmission electron microscope is the X-ray energy dispersive electroscopy (EDS) or EDX system. This typically involves a large reservoir for liquid nitrogen to keep the detector cool, an arm on which the equipment sits, and a solid state detector that penetrates the column are arrowed, so it is located near the samples. Next is apertures. Apertures are annular metallic plates through which electrons that are further than a fixed distance from the optic axis may be excluded. These consist of a small metallic disc that is sufficiently thick to prevent electrons from passing through disc, whilst permitting axial electrons. This permission of central electrons in a stem causes two effects simultaneously. Firstly, aperture decrease beam intensity as electrons are filtered from the beam, which may be desired in the case of beam sensitive samples. Secondly, this filtering removes electrons that are scattered to high angles, which may be due to unwanted processes such as spherical or chromatic aberration or due to diffraction from interaction within the samples. Next is fluorescent screen. Fluorescent property of emitting radiation and influence of electromagnetic or electron beam bombardment. In the TEM screen coated with the material in the visible range, zinc sulfide is installed beneath the projector lenses in the path of electron beams. Screen emit visible light when bombarded with electrons. The resolution of fluorescent screen is limited to 70 to 100 nanometer by the gram size of a fluorescent material and by scattering within the material. Next is a ray diagram of diffraction mechanism in TEM. Transmission electron microscope working. A TEM works much like a slide projector. A projector shines a beam of light through the slide. As the light passes through, it is affected by the structure and project on the slide. These effects result in only certain parts of the light beam being transmitted through certain parts of the slide. This transmitted beam is then projected onto the viewing screen, forming an enlarged image of the slide. TEM work the same way except that they shine a beam of electrons through specimen. Whatever part is transmitted through projected onto a phosphor screen for the user to see. A more technical explanation of typical TEM's working is as follows. The virtual source is its diagram. The virtual source at the top represents electron gun producing a stream of monochromatic electrons. This stream is focused to a small thin coherent beam by the use of condenser lenses 1 and 2. The first lens is usually controlled by the spot size knob, largely determine the spot size, the generally sized range of the final spot that strikes the sample. The second lens, usually controlled by the intensity or brightness knob, actually change the size of the spot on the sample, changing it from a wide dispersed spot to a pinpoint beam. The beam is restricted by the condenser aperture, usually user selectable, knocking out high angle electrons, those far from the optic axis, the dotted line down the center. The beam strikes the specimen and parts of it are transmitted. The transmitted portion is focused by objective lens into an image. The image is passed down the column through projector lenses being enlarged all the way. The image strikes phosphor image screen and light is generated, allowing user to see image. Next is sample preparation. The process of sample preparation in TEM involves following steps. Fixation. Fixation of specimens stabilizes the cell so that further changes or damage to the cell will not happen. Through this process, the sample is preserved to given a snapshot in time of the living cells. Fixation can be done through two methods as follow: chemical fixation and cryofixation. Chemical fixation. This method is used for stabilizing biological samples. Chemical substances are used to cross-link protein molecules with nearby molecules. The most frequently used chemical in this method is glutaraldehyde. Cryofixation. This method involves rapid freezing of sample in either liquid nitrogen or liquid helium. The water content in sample thus get transformed into a vitreous ice form. Next is rising. The tissue fixation process may cause increased acidity in the specimen. To prevent this condition and maintain the pH, it should be risen properly during a buffer such as sodium cacodylate. Next is secondary fixation. To increase contrast of the minute structures inside the specimen and give more stability, a secondary fixation is carried out using osmium tetroxide without inducing any charge in the feeder of the structure. OSO4 transforms the protein into gels and increase the contrast between nearby cytoplasm by binding regions of phospholipid heads. Next is dehydration. Freezing, drying, or dehydration of the specimen is the process by which the water content in the specimen is replaced with an organic solvents. Ethanol and acetone are frequently used solvents in this method. Dehydration is important as the epoxy resin used in further steps does not mix with water. Infiltration. Infiltration epoxy resin is used to penetrate the cell, which will then occupy the space and make the samples hard enough to bear the pressure of sections or cutting. The process is called embedding. The resin is then kept in an oven at 60 degrees Celsius overnight to allow for setting. The process is called polymerization. Next is polishing. After embedding, some materials are subjected to polishing. Polishing a specimen reduces scratches as well as other problems that can be minimize the quality of the image. Ultra-fine abrasives are used to give specimens a mirror-like finish. Cutting. For a study under an electron microscope, the sample should be semi-transparent to allow the passage of electron beam through it. To achieve this semi-transparent nature, the sample is sectioned into a fine sections during using a glass or diamond knife attached to a device known as ultramicrotome. The device has a that is filled with distilled water. Section cuts are collected in trough and are then moved to copper grid to be viewed under microscope. Size section should be between 30 nanometer and 60 nanometer to get the best resolution. Here is transmission is being as a direct scanning of its sample diagram. Apart from above general procedures that are following in preparing sample of stem, many other techniques are also available such as iron mining, cross-sectional method, replica technique, electrolyte polishing. Iron mining. In this process, thinning of the sample In this process, thinning of sample is done by firing charged argon ions at the sample surface until it becomes transparent enough. The focused ion mining technique uses gallium ions for thinning. Cross-sectional method. This method is majorly used in study of interference. Replica technique used only if bulk specimen used to prepare thin sections cannot be damaged. Electrolyte polishing. This procedure used to make thin samples out of metal or alloys. Pouring, rolling, grinding, peeling are different methods including in this procedure. So next is application of TEM. TEM provide topographical, morphological composition and crystalline information. The image allow research to view samples on a molecular level, making it possible to analyze structure and texture. For example, in cancer research about tumor cells and ultrastructures. So next are advantages of TEM. TEM offered the most TEM offered the most magnification, potentially over 1 million times or more. TEM has a wide range of application, can be utilized in a variety of different specific education and industrial fields. A transmission electron microscope is an impressive instrument with a number of advantages. TEM provide information on element and compound structures. Images are high quality and detailed. TEM are able to yield information of surface feature, shape, size and structure. They are easy to operate with proper training. Next is disadvantages of TEM. TEM are large and very expensive. Laborious sample preparation, potential artifacts from sample preparation, operational and analysis require special training. Samples are limited to those that are electron transparent, able to tolerate vacuum chamber and small enough to fit in the chamber. TEMs require special housing and maintenance. Images are black and white. Electron microscopes are sensitive to vibration and electromagnetic fields and must be housed in an area that isolates them from possible exposure. A transmission electron microscope requires constant upkeep, including maintaining voltage current through magnetic coils and cooling water. So next is difference between scanning electron microscope and transmission electron microscope. Electron stream. In scanning electron microscope, it is fine and focused beam. In transmission electron microscope, it is broad beam. Image taken. In SEM, it is topographical surface, and in TEM, it is internal surface. Resolution. In SEM it has lower resolution and in TEM it has higher resolution. Magnification. In scanning electron microscope it is up to 2 times, and in TEM it is up to 50 billion times. Image dimension. It is 3D in scanning electron microscope and it is 2D in transmission electron microscope. Sample thickness. It is thick and thin samples in SEM and it is ultra thin samples only in TEM. Penetrates sample. No penetrates sample in SEM and it penetrates sample in TEM. Sample restriction. It is less restrictive in SEM and it is more restrictive in TEM. Sample preparation. It is less penetration required in SEM and it is more preparation required in TEM. Cost. It is less expensive in SEM and it is more expensive in TEM. Speed. It is faster in SEM and it is slower in TEM. Operation. It is in SEM it is easy to use and in TEM it is more complicated, required training. So here are references. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much.